Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode. This is episode number 5. Before we get into the heart of racing for this episode, I wanted to go over a message that we've gotten that it's something I'm excited about because I did hear that it was dynamic, and here is confirmation. And I like how the dynamics are working on this one. Well, anyway, we have a message regarding Puerto Rico. Abner Gonzalez, the Puerto Rican rider, has done well at the Criterium de Dauphiné. I don't know what exactly he has done in the Criterium. Maybe we'll have to go check that out. But it has been noticed, his success there. The popularity of cycling within the nation has grown by 3 points, from a 2 to a 5. Greater the level of popularity, the more licensed riders there are in the federation, and as a consequence, juniors who might become the professionals of tomorrow. Love seeing that. Let's go ahead and check briefly what is it that Abner Gonzalez has done in the Dauphiné. All right, so that is a victory, hence the large increase, the plus 3 points. That is a victory overall for Abner Gonzalez. You know, the wonderful thing here is in terms of evaluation, Abner Gonzalez is right along the lines of the peak of what we're trying to sign come next season. And, you know, that does get you into a range where you can start earning some victories. That is his first career victory. We have our fourth and final sure failure objective, the stage win ones, where, you know, this team is just not going to get wins this year. 3-star, but there's an interesting development in this one. I was going to bypass it. I had already bypassed stage 1 of the 3. It's all sprint stages, so it does mean we should have some sort of shot. But I looked at the field before entering stage 1, and there's a half a dozen riders at 75. There's probably another 10 to 12 riders that are going to have that 70 or so sprint. Meaning, yeah, realistically, there is no chance. But this year, in the options, you have the ability to select what is your range for race day condition and impact. I went for the maximum range. As much as I have criticized race day condition in the past for being all over the place and not being consistent in what those results are in terms of that bell curve, I want to see that wide range. I want to see us have hard days. I want to see other riders have hard days. I want to see us have good days where we can go out and do something, which is absolutely realistic towards real life. You do get a varying set of conditions that make things more challenging or make you want to go out and seek victory. Well, anyway, the expected race day conditions today, with all of these team objectives, and you can see all but, you know, a couple guys at peak fitness. We've got 4 guys literally on fitness peaks, and for Dyke, plus 5 expected today with the preparation / objective. There's no other major bonuses. It's just that effect, that impact is what's setting that up. Fitzpatrick Fitzwater also on plus 5s. Noble, who's now 2-star, he has leveled up. Not that he's any good yet. He's a little bit punchy, a little bit acceleration, stamina resistance, good flat rating. So that actually does give us a little bit better lead out. Luis, only a plus 2 for him, as he's missed this current fitness peak, and so he doesn't have the preparation bonus. But we are looking overall as a team that stage 2 anyway, we might have a shot on this one. Let's go ahead and play out stage 2 just in case. We're going to be skipping right to the end now. As we go under the 10K banner, this game never fails to surprise. Verdijk, who was expected to have a plus 5, had a minus 4 draw and is a plus 1 today. Luis, who we expected to have a plus 2, got a plus 1 draw. He's a plus 3 today. So we sprint for Luis instead of Verdijk, and we are now pushing to set ourselves up in position. Peloton out of energy after protecting Verdijk all day. Fitzpatrick was in the breakaway. I tried to see if, you know, maybe you could get a breakaway win. That was a more likely outcome. Took a lot to get him in the break. He actually didn't make it with the final grouping, but they were just caught a few kilometers ago, and as we are now coming up on the final 3K, we've got to sprint this thing out with ore, as we are just, the field is just way too strong here, quite clearly. We're sprinting and we can't even get near the front end of the group with the other sprinters. Fitzwater coming on a little bit stronger here, but those guys out of the way. Yeah, we couldn't even get near the front with our lead out. For Dyke coming on strong, but you know, we can't get near the front. That's the thing. We can't compete if we can't get near the front. By the way, a lot of these guys in this field today, whether it was the breakaway, whether it's somebody finishing 4th place, are targets for next season. So there is going to be that possibility that with the new riders in place, if we do get some of them signed on, we will be in better shape. Noble took 15th, Verdyke took 20th. You know, we can't even crack the top 10 against a field this strong, even with +5s, +3s up and down the team. We're just that far below. I mean, these guys are about 20 attribute points below them. You add in the difficulty, that it's just not going to happen. So we're going to bypass stage number 3, knowing that even with strong race day conditions, we can't beat them. Yes, Verdyke did not end up with the +5 that we were hoping for, but the lead out couldn't even get us near the front, and that's the only way that with +5s for the sprinters that they're going to have any chance. They're not going to overtake anybody, because even with the +5, it's only going to put them, you know, high 60s or maybe a 70 if we were lucky, but that's not going to happen. So they're not beating this field. So we're going to accept that this final surefire fail objective is going to in fact fail. Let's see where we're at with the breakdown of the sponsored confidence after this one. Where my mouse pointer is currently located is where we were on sponsor confidence. Where we are now, though, is still in the yellow. So we are still in the yellow just by a percentage point or 2. So it is acceptable. That would keep us at an identical budget. So hanging on to that 90K that we have picked up. We're definitely not going to lose sponsorship or anything like that. At this point, it looks like we're not going to see a significant decrease. However, job's not done. Crow Race right after the deadline, but GP Crunch is still going to be impactful and just before the deadline. So we don't want to fail that one. We do want to get the top 10. It is the type of race that is possible to get the top 10, but you know, as you've seen from here, getting top 10s aren't necessarily a guarantee. We've had a top 25 here. We've totally missed out. We've only had a top 20 in that one, in the one attempt. So top 10s are certainly not a given. We also do have another 1-star, but we also have some national championships coming up, and maybe with a victory in Guam, if not anywhere else, that could counterbalance what happens with GP Crunch and give us just enough to stay in the satisfactory, in the okay category, which for this year, that's good. That's good. We'll settle for that. And we've reached the greatest day of the season for season number 1, the only guaranteed win that we're going to see, and that is the Guamanian individual time trial, of which all 5 competitors are on the team. I'm just going to let it play auto, and we're going to play it fast and let them decide on their own. All 5 competitors here are, well, they're all of the lowest levels. So they're all in that low 50s throughout. We have a single individual at a 53 base. And looking at those time trial ratings, Oingarang gets the +2, Lombard gets a +1. Unlucky for Matienza, who gets a -2. I think he was expected +3 today, so massive poor draw for him, as he has reached the halfway point and heads around yet again. He is first at the first time check, and I would think everybody's been there by now. Yes, they are, but Aponic, who is a 53 time trialist, is the favorite, is the defending champion, I believe. Aponic is on same time. Lombard is just 8 seconds down, so it's really still between those three. But Montienzo, who I thought might be the favorite based on the expected race day condition, has not been that. So far now at the finish line, Ungereng has the lead and will win. So there is our first victory! Done the, well, cheap way. Because it was very much not earned, was it? But the sponsor will be quite pleased by that, especially considering that this is the home nation of our sponsor. The database has scored a second upgraded nation. This time it's Mongolia with Seinbayar with a bit of success in the Tour of Slovenia. That's bringing them up by 1.23 now. Good news, our best rider has leveled up. For Dyke, 2.5-star evaluation now. And what we're looking at is a +1 to his sprint. Acceleration is the same. I think resistance might have gone +2 from where it was. So it's certainly going to make him more capable. I'm not sure how much of an increase the flat was, but I want to say it was either a 63 or 64. So it is at least a +1 or +2, making him a little bit better, a little more capable. But at 28, that might be the only level we see. It is June, so it took quite a few months for him to get there. First off, sorry about the background noise. I have tree service across the street from my neighbors, and they are a bit noisy. But anyway, let's continue on with the series. Road race now for the national championships. It's the same 5 riders, same 5 as the only 5 competitors, therefore it was a guaranteed win. So didn't bother with this one. We just went ahead and quick-simmed. It's Peter Lombard who will wear the jersey come next season. Now, thoughts could have been that, I have 2 returning riders and I could have paid attention to who those 2 were and made sure that those 2 claimed the win, essentially duked it out for the finish. But no, I'm not selfish about who's going to wear that jersey come next season. Let the AI decide on its own. It's Peter Lombard. I knew we were going to be in for a boost to the sponsor confidence from winning both the individual time trial and the road race of Guam, and I figured it was highly likely that we would claim both, but I did not expect this amount. The sheer thrill of our sponsor to have won these has pushed us well into success. With just 2 objectives to go, means we now have a pretty solid chance of actually increasing our budget for next season, making it all the more important that we actually did have a couple minor caveat type successes, especially I think it was the Circuit des Ardennes. No, it was Alps. The Alps of Syria Tour, where we got that little bonus. And yeah, you can see here, there's that bonus. We got that top 10 with Luis getting the top 25. I think it was like 25th with Fitzwater. It might have been 24th in New Zealand. But then getting the Guam, look at that. 6 pluses for those 2 races has just shot us right on up in our results category. And I think we're actually looking fairly well set to hang on to that, most likely, as I don't see it dropping a whole lot. If we went from here all the way up to here from 6 pluses, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape with just 2 races to go. That's a good outcome. It's a really good outcome. Unexpected, too. By the way, Jonathan Martin and Oingereng are the ones that are returning, so we will have the individual time trial jersey of Guam next season. But Lombard, the 46-year-old, is retiring, and he'll be vacating that jersey, but he'll own it for the next calendar year anyway. And we're at the final objective of the year, the GP Crunch. The penultimate objective was only 1 star, but it was also today. I took a B team to it, and they just didn't have enough quality with all those 50s. We couldn't get near the front to participate in the sprint, and therefore I bypassed the event. Right now, what we're seeing is a very small peloton as we approach the finish. It is yo-yoing a bit, but we have 56 up here and some riders fading. The breakaway of 9 still has a 1.5-minute advantage. It's not a given that we will catch them, but it does look likely as they are in sight going over the bridge there. So right? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So the finish line, a right, a left, and then an uphill swing right at the line. Gonna have to watch out for that one. We do come into this with objectives throughout the team. However, 0 fitness peaks have been achieved for this one. So that's gonna hold us back a little bit. That's gonna make me a little nervous on what happens. Verdijk, I don't know what's been going on with him lately as he gets another negative race day condition. That's about 3 objectives in a row, where he's had a pretty bad draw. This time a -2. Luis does have a +3, so that is probably the guy we're going to be riding for today. I mean, that's a 70 on the resistance, and you see how comfortable he is at the front of the field with the 2 lead-out riders. He was holding them fairly well. But 65, 67. Now, here's the thing about today's race. The good thing about today's race is that we actually are in a scenario where there aren't top sprinters here. There's no mid-75s. None. The best of the sprinters are about 70. There's a good 8, 9, or 10 of them, but getting into the top 10 is a lot more achievable with that. When you look at Luis, at 65, 67 with good stamina resistance, if we can give him a proper lead out, we've got a decent chance at that top 10 today. Luis actually is a little more favorable to Verdijk in many ways because of the punchiness right at the finish line, which we're about to see again here in just a moment, with a Peloton down to just 45 now, and we still have not caught these guys. Let's go ahead and set you to auto. Green is still technically protecting Luis, but not particularly well at this point. Let's go ahead and protect Verdijk, and let's also set these guys up into mid-80s here. 24K to go. Group's down to 44. Riders dropping one by one. Very aggressive Peloton here, now down to 39 as Green among a handful of riders that have now been dropped here and already picked up by the Chase Group. Chase Group's not that far behind, but I don't see how the Chase Group's going to catch back up. This is the next to last time we're going to have to go up through there. That's what's really doing the damage to us, is it's short and steep. There's that breakaway. There's that breakaway. We're getting close. They're starting to lose riders as well, so that's helping. But there's enough undulation here that's making it pretty tough. 13.5K to go. 39 chasing 7. Good chance we're going to catch him. And you go through that little uphill at the finish. Set ourselves up now. 11K to go. Okay, up that little climb, you see we struggle, but it's going to be flat here for a little bit. 10K. Okay, who do we want to gel up first to lead this thing out? Is it going to be Fitzwater or Noble? No. Noble. 69 flat rating. We are going to get a proper lead out for a change. Go ahead and gel up for Fitzwater. And there's a group trying to attack. This is the time to make a move. So Luis, follow Verdijk, follow Noble, and follow Fitzwater. And Fitzwater, start moving. Start moving, Fitzwater. Okay, they did not take off as I thought they were about to, but nearly making contact with the breakaway, and we are getting through here. Come on. 8 riders going clear. Our chances of a top 10 just went up significantly if we can hang on with this thing. Fitzwater going 99, chasing those 7 down. They are very tired, but Fitzwater can only go so hard here. It's now 10. Now it's 26. Luis, go ahead and get back on. Gel up for these last 2 guys. Fitzwater still trying to catch those 7. 3K to go. Cannot sprint here. We're about to make contact with those guys and do, finally. Noble, sprint. Now's the time as you go over that little hump. Get us out front. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at how well placed we are. Verdijk and Luis. Now remember, there's that little uphill swing, but look how well placed we are to get a result. Could it be? Could it be? Noble is going to hang on. Rick Noble. Verdijk gets 2nd. Luis gets 5th. We not only get the top 10 we needed, but we get our first proper victory, not counting Guam, where we were the only riders. But we just won. We just won the race. Okay. Wow. We really pulled off the impossible on that one. The positioning, very strong. And we managed to get a 1-2 out of it. Getting to the front of the field makes a massive, massive difference. We were not going to catch that breakaway from the looks of it. You know, we added 7th place as well. We had 4 riders in the top 10. Whew, okay. Well, that is a success on that final objective, and that will ensure that we have a progression of our budget come next season now. And we're going to go ahead and leave this episode on that point. You know what's next? We are heading to contract signing. I'm excited for that one. First edition of that this year. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.